There really is no bigger name in this industry than the late Vidal Sassoon. As a hairdressing icon, he left behind a legacy unmatched by others. Part of the Sassoon legacy was Vidal's commitment to education. The Sassoon Academy educates thousands of future beauty professionals just like you every single year. Based on Sassoon's strong London roots, the creative team at Sassoon Academy works hard to educate not only beginners like yourself, but seasoned professionals through their advanced education programs. We are thrilled to have two of Sassoon Academy's brightest stars with us today, creative directors Traci Sakosits and Richie Rivera. We hope you enjoy their advice for success in this amazing industry. Well, this is something I've been looking forward to very, very much, because if there's a word that is I think the symbolic of the progression of the beauty industry, it's the name Vidal Sassoon. And you guys are the embodiment of Sassoon. You're the people that make it work every single day throughout the Sassoon system, and it's so cool. I've already done the introduction, so everybody's heard, but this is cool. Traci is here and Richie is here, and I'm very, very, very grateful that you guys took the time out of the busy schedule here at the International Show to sit and talk to our students and talk to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You've just been on stage. You've just been promoting your concepts and your education, which is incredible. And now we're going to talk a little bit more personal. And I guess I want to hear a lot more about your thoughts on what has made you successful, what has gotten you to be where you are in the best culture probably in the beauty industry, which is Sassoon. And a little bit maybe about challenges that you've had, and maybe your thoughts and suggestions for our students and staff on how they can be similarly successful as you. How about we just start, we'll start with you, Traci, only because you're closest today. All right?
Thank you.
But just a couple of thoughts. I mean, have you been in the beauty industry all your adult life?
I have, actually.
Have you?
I have.
Tell me about your backstory.
It's all I've ever done,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty amazing.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Right across the river from here.
Really?
Yes.
What town?
And, Hasbrook Heights.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. My family still lives in Rutherford, New Jersey.
Okay.
And yeah, and I've been.
We have
in
a school in
most-
Paramus, so they're
Yeah,
all
I know
probably
Paramus.
cheering right now.
The mall's there,
Yep.
of course.
Okay, of course.
Shopping always has to get into every conversation of
Garden
mine.
State Plaza. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, to start off, I think that the thing that I always remember, and it's I have a really strong work ethos that's been instilled in me from many people, family, friends, coworkers, Sassoon heritage. I mean, Vidal is one people that I've heard say, and has written many times in some of his books that he's written, his autobiography, that it's not without hard work. And I've even heard Nick, Rojo, he's one of the hardest working men that I know.
The ever-ready bunny.
Yeah. And so definitely that's what I'd like to start with, which most students don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when you can find something that you're so passionate about, you don't realize it's such hard work. You just do. You just do, and things happen, and good things usually come out of it. Most of the time, good things. I never thought, I always tell the story, I never thought that I would be on stage in front of so many people. And sometimes I still get on stage, and I remember being in Brazil 2 years ago, and I stood on stage, massive stage, stood next to Marquez and these amazing people that I've always aspired to be like. And I'm stood there, hair in hand, look out to the audience, about 2,000 people, and I'm thinking, how did I get here? How did I get here?
That's pretty cool.
It just happened.
Okay. Do you find the same thing?
Very similar. A little different background to start on this. I was a chemistry major in college. I went to Northeastern University and left that and graduated the university.
Did you ever leave Boston? I mean,
I did. I can get to that. I did leave for a couple of years, but ended up graduating from the University of Massachusetts with a liberal arts degree and realized I wanted to be a hairdresser. And then upon my research, I realized with Sassoon that it's departmentalized. And I was so comfortable with the chemical end because I understood more of the ingredients than the technique. And I was like, that's what it is. And I headed west. I headed to LA.
Right.
And that's when I started my hairdressing.
Oh my God, so you literally started from the very beginning with Sassoon, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. Both of you did or not?
No, I didn't. I actually went to cosmetology school in New Jersey.
Okay.
My family were in hair. Two of my mom's sisters, And one of them, you know, sits in the front row of all our shows still to this day, and she's the one that inspired me. So I went to beauty school, and then I worked for her for about 5 or 6 years. And I got to a point where I said, you know, I really want to learn how to cut hair like these people. And it was all Sassoon people, and I was so amazed about how they did what they did. And I said, if I'm going to do this, I want to be like them. And she said, well, you can go across the river to Vidal Sassoon and go apply for a job. And that's what I did the very next day.
You were over in New York?
I went
That's
to New
how you
York,
got started?
and I started in New York.
One of the things I'd really like to get into is talking about the Sassoon culture. And it's such a unique thing, and I think a lot of our students have heard about it. Some people have studied up on it, but for the most part, I don't think people they've heard of it, but they don't understand it. Could you guys help me out and to understand what that culture and our students to understand? Can you tell me, and I'll start with you, Richie, this time, okay? Could you just tell me what you think makes Sassoon so unique?
For me, what makes Sassoon so unique is the ongoing education. And saying education, not just so much by demonstrations and workshops. I mean, educating, I learn from my assistants. You know what I mean? I learn from clients. I learn from meeting up with other colleagues all around the world. You know, even from a receptionist point of view, every part of the business is what I'm learning from. And that's, for me, is the education part.
And supporting each other in doing that. Not just one person in that salon saying, well, I want to take it to here, but having that person next to him say, I'm going to help you get to there. That teamwork, that's the core.
Right.
I mean, obviously, culturally, we have such a rich history, and that continues every year, obviously. And eventually, you know, I'll be part of that history, which is pretty amazing.
That's true. That's true, yeah.
Later than sooner.
And that history's in your hands right now.
Yeah, and that's key.
But I think the Sassoon culture is cool because you have another element, which at least as I've observed it, okay, which is this coolness. I mean, seriously, I mean, you guys have this cosmopolitan kind of, it's a part British and part, you know, just being cool. I mean, is there, what makes it that way? I mean, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, you guys, you attract people like yourselves who are young, attractive, have this incredible work ethic, etc. It just seems that it's just a neat place to be. Yeah. Do you find that or not?
It is.
Or you work it every day? And you
yeah, I mean, we live it. Like you said, we bleed it sometimes. But it's international. It's an international company that has a lot to do with it. I think we get to work with people from all over the world. All over the world. I've traveled the world with a scissor and comb. It's pretty amazing, right?
It really
pretty
is.
Amazing. Tint brush.
Ball and brush.
Yeah, ball and brush in his department. And so in that sense, you just kind of are constantly around that and constantly around young people. Because I don't put myself in the young category anymore.
Oh, I think you should.
But the younger ones that are coming up, the students, you guys that are watching, they're the ones that we have to kind of embody and keep around us all the time, and see what they're into, and use those things and combine those things with the knowledge we know, because knowledge is power, and move forward with that.
How would somebody coming through Empire who graduates from Empire, how would they get involved with Sassoon?
Well, I mean, we're always accepting applications at any one of our 14 salons and our schools across the country.
Right.
And I think the hardest part is, like with any job, do some research about the company you want to get into. Know what you're going into before your interview process. And decide. The hardest part for most people is deciding when they realize we're departmentalized, cut and color, because a lot of people want to do both, which is nothing wrong with that. But when you come and want to join for us, you have to choose.
Right, and somebody who comes to you, I mean, if they're a great cutter, or potentially a great cutter, I mean, they're going to be looking forward to a lot of education. Am I right? They're not going to just go, hey, I'm a great cutter. Here's my shears. Okay, go out to the floor. They got some time that they've got to go.
Everybody that joins Sassoon, no matter what level they come in at, goes through a training program.
And it's not a short one.
Yeah.
How long is it?
It's approximately 14 months right now. Could be longer. Could be quicker,
months.
Depending on the individual.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh my gosh, there's so much more and more and more and more that
and
you
haven't
can
stopped
learn.
learning a single day.
And I'm still learning.
Absolutely.
Still learning.
Have you had those kind of challenges that have really made it? There has been a time, maybe even when you were going to beauty school, that you went, I don't even know if this is worth it. I mean, why am I doing this?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's obstacles mini ones every day, isn't there, that we have to get past. And then there's big and small, and there's, you know, when they come up, you just, again, keep your eyesight on the end and what you want, and figure out how to fix whatever that situation is. I mean, for me, I remember, like I said, I trained for 2 years. I didn't have any money when I trained. None.
Oh my God.
You just do it. You make it work.
You had the same kind of thing.
Similar, yeah. You have to stay focused, because you can easily, you know, someone will, you're half a year into your training, and then someone's coming, you're like, come work for me. You don't have to do that. And you have to remember where your vision was and where you want to go with it.
Yeah.
And
Set
you
your
weren't gonna settle, were
goals,
you?
right?
No.
Go on, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
You set your goals and priorities. I think that's it.
I would love to have you just tell us, what would you say? I mean, to young people, and some of us are not so young that are learning. I mean, some of us are a little older like me, but what would you say to these students? What would you say that would be your message? If you could just leave one message, it doesn't not one point, but one quick message to them of how they can be successful.
It's about passion. So they first have to identify what they want and surround themselves by amazing people that can help them get there. That's the key.
That's big.
That's the key. 'Cause you can't do it alone, you know? You can't do it alone. You need, you know, your friends, you know, even as a student, you know, I tell the other students, you guys are a team now. Feed off of each other, help each other to get through. This is phase 1. There's phase 2, phase 3, there's 100 phases. And all along the way, you want to build comrades, people around you that help support you, and then also people around you that can help get you to the next level. And if they really want it, I tell my students this all the time, if you want something, it's yours. It's that simple.
I tell people, be careful of what you want, because you're probably going to get it,
first.
right? No, but that's a wonderful message. What you just said is absolutely right. I mean, if you keep your eye on the prize, okay?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Richie?
My thoughts, I mean, the ability to accept constructive criticism, whether it be from the people educating you or your clients or anyone that you work with, and just learn from it and grow from it. Don't be heated, get angry from it.
Yeah.
You can't take anything personal in this business, can you?
No, not at all.
I mean, if somebody, you may do the perfect, seriously, the perfect color on somebody, and they don't like it. Right. And that's got to be a rough thing for a normal artist, am I right?
Yes, no, it's true.
Okay, but you got to keep a smile,
You
just
have
like
to,
you
yes.
do right now. It's like, okay.
What is he going to ask next? No.
Come on, now don't get nervous.
No.
I'm only kidding. But seriously,
But it's true.
That's a great point, and it's all about continuous improvement. But any last thoughts for our students? You guys have already given them great messages. This is what it's all about. This is what this industry is all about.
No, I mean, we feel, I mean, I know, I can speak probably for Richie too, we're very proud to do what we do, and feel very privileged as well. It wasn't a given. And it is a privilege to lead such an amazing brand and be part of the leaders. We have an amazing leader in Mr. Mark Hayes, who's the International Creative Director for Sassoon, and he embodies everything that we've talked about. And we learn from him as he learns from us, and so on and so on. And that's the key to it all.
I would love to sit in one of your creative meetings. I bet it must be unbelievable. I bet it must be unbelievable.
Well, we'll all be together, not next week and the weekend after in Ontario. We're doing a big show, so myself and Mark. And so aside from just the show, we have all these ideas to do things, and so every second is absorbed creatively, or we think anyway.
Oh, so
we hope to. We like to think so.
I love it, Richie. It looks like you get to get the final word on this whole thing.
I guess become a sponge and just absorb everything you can every day.
You guys are great. I'm looking forward very, very much. I've been to Santa Monica. I've been to the Sassoon Academy. I want to come out and see what you're doing with it, because I bet you're kicking some major butt out there. And Boston, I get to Boston every once in a while, and I'm going to look you up, Richie. And I want to come over and see. I want to see your salon, and I want to see what you guys are doing there.
You're welcome anytime.
And I hope our students also do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I think,
we have an amazing team of teachers, and they're so giving and caring and so smart, and just so good at just finding each individual's goals and helping them achieve them. So yeah, it would be wonderful to have any of your students.
That's fantastic.
Be a privilege to have any of your students with us.
And vice versa. Vice versa. It's great. It's great to be with you.
Thank you so
much,
Frank. Thank you.
And Richie, thanks, man. You guys are just terrific. Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.